Once upon a time, in a quiet village, there lived a woman named Amara. Amara was kind and her beauty was unmatched. She married Obina, a man who charmed everyone with his smooth words and promises of a good life. Amara believed she had found a loving partner, but shortly after their wedding, Obina revealed his true nature. At first, Obina seemed attentive, though controlling. He insisted that Amara stop visiting her friends. "You are married now," he would say. "A proper wife stays at home and takes care of her husband." Amara reluctantly obeyed, thinking it was her duty. Over time, she had become isolated from her support system. When she tried to express her loneliness, Obina dismissed her concerns. "Why do you need friends when you have me? Are you not happy with your husband?" The question silenced her. She didn't want to seem ungrateful. One evening, after a long day of farming, Amara returned to find Obina drunk, yelling at the top of his voice. The neighbors whispered as he accused her of disrespecting him because she came home later than he expected. "Amara, who gave you permission to stay out so late?" he demanded. "I was in the field working for us, Obina," she replied softly. "For us?" he scoffed. "You mean for yourself? You are trying to make me look like a useless man in front of the village." Amara tried to reason with him, but Obina shutted her down. By the end of the argument, he convinced her that she was wrong for prioritizing her work over his feelings. She apologized even though she knew in her heart she had done nothing wrong. This pattern repeated often. Wherever she stood up for herself, Obina twisted her words, making her feel guilty and unworthy. Despite refusing to provide for the household, Obina demanded full control of Amara's earnings. He would take her small profits from selling cassava and spend them on drinking and gambling. When Amara questioned him, he would turn tables on her. "What kind of wife questions her husband? Do you want to shame me in this village?" "A man's pride is his ability to lead his home," he would say, snatching the coins from her trembling hands. One day Amara decided to hide part of her earnings, hoping to save for essentials. Obina found out and accused her for being deceitful. "Do you see how untrustworthy you've become? How can I respect a wife who hides things from me?" Amira, overwhelmed with guilt, gave him the money. The worst betrayal came when Amara discovered that Obina was having an affair with her young sister Ugochi. She confronted him, her voice trembling with pain. "Obina, why would you do this to me? Ugochi is my sister." Instead of apologizing, Obina sneered. "Maybe if you are more of a woman, I wouldn't need someone else. You should thank me for not leaving you entirely." The humiliation didn't end there. Obina began parading Ugochi around the village, openly flaunting the affair. When the villagers tried to intervene, he dismissed them with contempt. "Who are you to tell me how to live my life? A man can have as many women as he wants." Amara felt trapped. If she left, what would people say? Would they blame her for failing to keep her husband? One day Amara returned from the market to find Obina had sold the last of her cooking pots to settle a gambling debt. "What do you expect me to do now?" she asked, tears streaming down her face. "Figure it out," Obina said coldly. "You are good at managing things, aren't you?" That night, as Amara sat in the dark kitchen, she realized she couldn't live like this anymore. She had sacrificed her happiness, her dignity, and her dreams for a man who cared nothing for her well-being. The next morning, she gained her courage and she packed her few belongings and left. Amara moved to a nearby town where she started working as a seamstress. At first, life was very difficult for her, but her determination carried her through. She worked tirelessly and soon her reputation as a skilled tailor grew. As her business flourished, Amara began to rebuild her confidence. She realized how much strength she had, even after years of abuse. She saved enough money to buy her own sewing machines and even hired other women to work with her. Her story became an inspiration, especially to the women in the community. Years later, Obinna came to her shop looking gaunt and defeated. Ugochi had left him and he had squandered all his money. "Amara," he said, kneeling before her, "I was wrong. Please take me back." Amara looked at him with calm strength. "Obinna, I have forgiven you," she said, "but I will never go back to the life you offered me. I've built a life of dignity and peace, and I intend to keep it that way." Obinna left, his head bowed in shame. This is the end of the story. The story teaches us that abuse thrives on manipulation, isolation, and fear, but it can be overcome with courage and self-belief. Women in abusive marriages must remember that they have the power to reclaim their lives. Living is not failure. It is an act of bravery and self-respect. Know your worth and never let anyone dim your light. Choosing yourself is the first step toward true freedom. Thank you for watching this story. Please consider subscribing and liking my videos. Thank you.